guys, it is Tanya and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another speed build. Today I am doing a build that's been highly requested for a very long time and I have just been putting it off because I wasn't really sure how to approach it. And that is a Hobbit house or a Hobbit Tiny House. Basically it's an underground little home for the most part. It really depends on what you look up and what inspiration you get from it. But I have gathered that these are inspired by the Lord of the Rings series, and that's not a series I ever particularly got into. However, over the last couple of weeks, I fell down a rabbit hole, or I guess hobbit hole if you want to call it that, of videos of people building tiny houses based on hobbit holes from Lord of the Rings. And they didn't talk a whole lot about the series or anything about it. They just showed off their gorgeous houses and they were primarily underground. They had these rounded roofs, they had greenery growing on top of them, and I just really wanted to take that as inspiration and build something similar. You can kind of see the shape already starting to come together because it just is that big circle, but we're doing a cutout in the front here so you can see the part that's underground a little bit better, because the way the ones I was seeing were built is way shorter than we could do. Imagine like if the basement in the game was halfway underground and halfway above ground, but you could still enter and your Sims would kind of crawl into the space. That's kind of the inspiration I was looking at, a lot of homes like that, but that's not really possible in the game, so I did it this way, and there's just an area to hang out at the bottom of that little basement area and lots of greenery, and we're going to be adding way more stuff to this. I spent a very long time on this build and had a lot of fun with it. It was definitely something different, and I love building just interesting different things lately. I feel like it's been a while since I did a family home, but there should be one of those coming sometime soon. But I've been just really into building interesting things lately, I guess. So if you have any more interesting ideas or I guess family home ideas, specific Sims you'd like to see in them, I'd love to hear your suggestions on that as well. But I decided against a hand railing going down these steps, which is probably pretty dangerous, but it didn't look right for what I wanted. So I used these half walls going up the steps instead. And we have our door on a diagonal down there. And also, you're going to see at some point in all of this a random Sim going through everything because I was playtesting it to make sure it worked, because some of it ends up being kind of weird and I wasn't sure if it was going to work. So it definitely required quite a bit of playtesting, but don't worry, it is playtested and it should all work as long as you place this lot using the bb.move objects cheat when you download it. And if you guys would like to download this house, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery if you search Gryphi or the hashtag MsGryphi. That info is also down below, as well as a direct download link to the gallery website if you'd prefer to use that instead. But anyway, we are trying to figure out some decorations. I don't know why, but I really wanted to use that sun decoration and it took me ages to find it. I cut out that footage because I probably spent like 10 minutes scrolling looking for it, but I found it. And then over here, this is something I directly took from one of my inspirations. I thought it was just different and would contribute to a different play style, and that is the toilet's not in the house. It's its own outhouse and it's just like built into the ground over here. So that's what we're doing. It's just a roof with a door on it and there's a toilet inside. So yeah. There's a lot of stuff on this lot that is compatible with off the grid, but I didn't make this lot have that lot trait. And there's a lot of stuff that's not compatible, but you could probably easily make it work if you decided to add that lot trait over to this house, because the toilet in the outhouse is compatible with off the grid. The shower in the main house is compatible. And then we have a washing bucket and clothesline as well. So you can still do laundry off the grid. So if you want to use that lot trait, totally cool. Also, sorry if my voice is cracking. I think I'm getting sick and it just keeps like creeping up on me and being like, now you can't suck. So apologies for that. But here we are trying to figure out some grass and stuff going up this hill. We're going to end up putting some stairs to go up there and like a little gardening area. I think it came out pretty cute in the end. I was just kind of experimenting, as you can kind of see, just fiddling around with it, trying to figure out what would work. I didn't have this idea in mind at first when I started building. It just kind of happened. So I'm just trying to figure it out and make it work best the best I can. But I really liked this idea of having that bathroom nestled into the ground over there, and then like being able to walk on top of that building. I thought that was kind of a cool idea. And then of course we're adding our little laundry over to the right. And yeah, I thought about adding this little half wall to hold like a plant going up here, but I deleted it in the end because it was causing me a bunch of routing issues. Getting my Sims to be able to walk up this hill and get to the top, because I do end up adding a bunch of planters up there, as well as a woohoo bush, so you have a location for that, because the bed on the inside of the house is one that's pushed up against a wall, so it's harder to have two Sims sleep in it and use it for other purposes. I believe it's possible. I know you can definitely have two Sims sleep in the bed if you have one get in the bed and like scooch over, but I'm not positive on woohooing, so it might be possible. But we have a woohoo bush regardless, so we're set on that. And then the shower inside is the one from Island Living, so woohoo's not available in that one either, because it's only the closed showers that shower woohoo is available. So yeah, we got a woohoo bush. I wanted to make sure because I've definitely gotten some complaints in some of my tiny homes before when there is only a single bed and there's nowhere for your Sims to like do the dirty. So I figured I would add one in this lot. But up here is the little gardening area we were adding. I kind of framed it off with this greenery fence, and then I wanted to break it up a little bit. It was like too perfect green considering how kind of man-made and natural everything else looked. And I don't mean like man-made like perfect, I mean like kind of hodgepodge maybe. I don't know the words I'm looking for, but I felt like that looked too structured and too nice, so I thought splitting it up with a wooden fence helped it a little bit. Now that I think of it, I think the term I was looking for is higgly-piggly, which is a phrase I've never used in my entire life, but it keeps coming to mind when I'm thinking about like all of the item selections on the outside. I don't know. I really like this house. I had so much fun with this, and I hope you guys do like it too. I was a little bit nervous about doing this for a very long time, even though so many people suggested it, because I'm not that into Lord of the Rings and I didn't want to mess this up. But like I said, I took inspiration based off of real life existing homes that are based off of that, not specifically off of the movies and the books and all of that. It was just taking inspiration from things that I saw that I thought were pretty cool and making it functional in The Sims and decorating in a way that I liked and thought fit it. Not necessarily as realistically as it might be, but you guys can let me know if you think I did a good job in that regard or not. But overall, it was just kind of doing my own thing with it and trying to make it work. So we add this toilet in here and you can see I got it working. I was very excited about that. So we have our little outhouse over there, but we have a shower inside and then that's it. Like there's not a proper bathroom inside. The shower is kind of in its own little nook, and then there's just a sink in the bathroom or in the kitchen. So it's a very interesting layout, definitely one I haven't done before, and that's probably why this was so much fun. It was just so different and unique compared to other builds I've done. And I've done a couple of underground houses before, but they were a little bit more straightforward than this one. So this was definitely a refreshing thing to build for sure. But we're just working on landscaping because, I worked on landscaping for a majority of this build. I felt like I was working on this build for hours and hours and hours before I even touched the inside of it. And I didn't paint it for a very long time either. And here we are just adding a little window well out back so that we can get a little bit of natural light coming in. And I believe we ended up adding a modern-ish window. I think it's one of the storefront windows from Get to Work down there, so that we can have some light coming in, and then put some ivy down in that well. So the walls were covered. So it's nothing too complicated down there, but I just wanted some sort of natural light, and a skylight wasn't going to work with the shaped roof I had in mind. Otherwise, a skylight would have been great to get some light into this house, but unfortunately that wasn't going to work, so I did what I could. But here we are just adding some more ivy up here, and then we're going to be grabbing some of the lights from the holiday pack. I really enjoyed adding a bunch of string lights around this. We also end up using the ones from Toddler Stuff down in this little well down here. I just think it looks so cute. I really, really enjoyed using these. They're a little too big, and I had to shrink them down and then shove them through a wall, and it looks a little goofy, but I think it worked out in the end. I'm pretty happy with it. and just adds a little bit more personality and lights things up a little bit more. And down in that well, we're going to cover all of the walls in ivy to make it look a little bit more lush down there. Quite enjoyed that. And then these plants that are sticking out through the roof, I love them. They are from Island Living. I never use them because they're so boxy, and I probably won't use them that often, but I feel like they worked really well to go through this roof and poke out like they do. I just really enjoyed that aspect of this house. But we're finally going to try and figure out the interior. I had no idea other than that little box in the corner. I wanted it to be where the shower went. So that's kind of what I went with, and we figured it out slowly. I looked at a bunch of different beds. I couldn't decide what style I was going for, if I wanted it to be a little bit more old style, a little bit more updated. I feel like it just could be a little higgly-piggly if I wanted it to be, but it was just a process figuring out exactly how that was going to work. But now we're working on the little entryway and adding more of this ivy. I believe we add a bike down here as well. And I know I tried to add a grill, but I'm kind of thinking I didn't keep the grill. But that would be something nice to add if you decide to use this lot off the grid, because I believe you can still use grills. But I did add a bike so that your sim can travel around places. Of course, they can just walk, but I feel like I want to add bikes everywhere, and I feel like I can justify a bike here. I couldn't justify a car whatsoever. There's no way I would have a car on this lot, but I thought a bike, maybe. So, but that's an easy thing to delete if you didn't want that there. And then just some more of these flower boxes, trying to make there be lots of plants around. There's plenty on the interior of this build as well. And I primarily used this like painted brick because the outside of it I have as a brick because it's a more structurally sound material to be underground. That's kind of the thought process I had with that. And then the above ground portions are more of a wood. But the underground ones, I was like, no, this has to be like stone or bricks or something. And so I went with bricks on the outside, and then the inside, I figured they were painted over to look a little bit nicer. And there's that Island Living shower, which I think is really nice. I almost never use that shower, but I feel like it worked really well for the like theme, the decoration style I was going for in this build. And at first I'm using these counters from Jungle Adventure, but we switched them out for these base game ones that are a little bit more traditional because I feel like they just fit this style I was going for a little bit better. And you'll see that come together now. I don't have a proper door going into the bedroom. It's just kind of open there. It's not even an archway. It's just the walls are open, and the kitchen and living space are all in one area. And it's just really snug, but it's a little bit more spacious than a lot of tiny homes I do. But I still feel like it's rather tiny. And I did enjoy this one quite a bit. And I needed to have the succulent wall in the bedroom. I thought it looked really nice. And I thought about adding some ottomans on the bottom half to make it look less like a little planter and more like a seat on the bottom, but I decided against that in the end. And we actually ended up decorating the bedroom last. I just kind of wanted to make sure the main things were in there and then focused on the living space and dining space first, which of course you guys all know I love building kitchens. And tiny houses in general, I just really enjoy. I feel like the bedroom's always an afterthought. I need to work on that, but I really, really enjoy this space of tiny houses, just making everything work and make it functional. So I had a lot of fun doing that. My voice keeps cracking. I apologize if this is painful to listen to. I'm not sure what else to do about it. But anyway, we're just adding a TV over here. I know that might not be the most realistic thing, but this is based on real life and things I thought your Sims would probably enjoy to get their needs up. So I did add a TV area in this house. I'm trying to remember if I added a bookcase or not. If I didn't, that's something you could definitely easily add for more entertainment. I don't think I have many skill building items either, but ooh, an easel outside would be really nice. Yeah, that'd be really fun. And mostly the gardening stuff is what we have on this lot, all the outdoor planting pots and stuff like that. But here we are just adding some decorations. I thought that mirror from Realm of Magic worked so nicely, like hand twisted pieces of wood. I thought that was so pretty. So of course I had to add that, and we're just adding a basket down here with another plant in it. Just lots of plants around the place, but I really enjoyed that. I just thought it fit the idea very, very well of bringing a lot of the outdoors in. You're literally underground, so we're embracing that. So I also added some of these string lights from the holiday stuff pack. I had to think about what it was called for a second. and then that little wreath from Seasons as well. I think it looks so cute in here. I really, really enjoyed how this space came out. And then we're just adding a table over here from Base Game with some green cushioned chairs. I really liked that as well. Just really embracing the green colors from the outside, the greens, the browns, trying to really incorporate those into the space. And I don't remember what we ended up hanging above this table. I just changed my mind a bunch of times, so I'm not sure which things ended up staying. I'm kind of thinking that painting stayed with the butterflies, but I'm not sure. I guess we're gonna find out. But it looks like that's what stayed. And then just adding a rug under the door when you first come in, and some flowers over on the table as well. I thought those little yellow flowers were really, really cute and just looked really nice in that space. They really popped against the more neutral colors around the rest of the room. And then we're just adding some spices up on the wall above the kitchen sink. And I think we just add just those spoons and forks. Where did I put the trash can? Oh, right. We only have an outdoor trash can. We have this one, and there's another one by the street as well. So whichever you prefer. But you're not going to have to take them out because they're outside trash cans already. So that's nice. I do like doing that sometimes, only having an outdoor one. So that way you're not filling up the one inside and having to bring it out. Instead, you just kind of throw everything out outside. But for most people, that would probably be annoying. But in this house, you have to go outside to even go to the bathroom anyway. So throwing out your trash outside is probably not that much of an additional burden, but who knows? I guess you'll only know once you've been playing in the house for a while whether or not that is just so frustrating or not. But I thought it was a fun idea regardless, doing the bathroom in a separate building. And yeah, so we're just in the bedroom now, finishing up some decorations. I really like how this room came out as well, definitely bringing in more of the greens and browns in here, which I thought just fit the space so well. And a couple of decorations. We have that little record player over on the shelves, which I thought was nice. You could play a little bit of music in here. And lots of plants, our laundry basket, and our shower over in that corner. But anyway, we are coming to the end of the video here. I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And if you click that bell, it'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everybody.